Hi guys, this is Connie, back for some Connie reads. This is The Dogs of Winter. I have a bookmark in chapter 14, so hopefully I'm not getting too out of order. It's been a while. Titled The Pack. Slowly my eyes adjusted to the dark. The weeds outside the building let tiny bits of light in through the small opening. The light caught an ear here, a pair of eyes there, and over there. I froze. Lucky nudged my hand with his wet nose. Woof. I heard small yips and whimpering from one corner. Lucky tugged on my sleeve. I followed him through the dark over to the corner. And in that corner, resting on top of a pile of rags and newspapers and dirty blankets, lay a mother dog with her puppies. "Oh," I cried, "look at the puppies!" I reached out a hand to touch them. The mother dog growled. Lucky licked the side of her face and nuzzled the puppies with his nose. "Is that why you brought me here?" I asked him. "To see the puppies?" Lucky pawed at my pocket, the pocket that still had held 2 potatoes. I took 1 potato from my pocket and broke off a piece. I handed it to Lucky. The mother dog whimpered. Lucky dropped the potato chunk in front of her. She snapped it up in one breath. Lucky looked at me as if to say, "Go on then, give her some more." I broke off another chunk of potato and stretched my hand out to her. I broke off another piece and another. She licked the last of the potato from my fingers. Then she settled her puppies against her belly and let them eat. I sat back on my heels and smiled. "You're a good little mother," I said, "and you, Lucky, are a good father." I turned to look for Lucky to tell him what a good father he was to provide for his family. I froze. Dogs surrounded me. Brown dogs, black and white dogs, a small scruffy dog with a badly torn ear. A brown dog with a silver face and soft eyes limped from the corner. Lucky pressed close to me and wagged his tail. "Hello," I said to the dogs. "Are you hungry too?" The dog with the torn ear yipped and did a little dance. I laughed. I broke off a piece of potato and tossed it to him, and then I fed the others. After all the potato was gone, the dogs pressed close, sniffing my clothes, my ears, my hair. Their mother dog rose from her sleeping puppies and washed my face with her tongue. I rolled in the dirt, laughing. "No, stop, that tickles, that's slobbery." She licked me all the more. The black dog with patches of whites on his legs and back lowered his chest, his hind end stuck in the air. He cocked his head to one side and wagged his tail. I rolled to my hands and knees, dropped to my chest, and stuck my bum up in the air. "Woof," I said. I wagged my bum from side to side. The black dog with the patches slapped one paw on the ground. I slapped my hand and laughed. The old dog watched us with the pleasure of a grandmother. The weeds rustled at the hole in the wall. In the weak light, I could see something pushing its way through the opening in the bricks. All the dogs stood at attention. I stood too and moved closer to Lucky. Something dropped lightly to the dirt floor. I squinted into the weak light. That something was a dog. The dogs pinned their ears back and whimpered their greetings. The little mother dog and the dog with the ripped ear crouched before this dog and licked his chin and the side of his face. That was when I noticed the dog had something in his mouth, a long, thick sausage. The dog dropped the sausage in the dirt. He seemed to barely notice as the dogs tore pieces of the meat. His eyes were fixed on me. I pressed closer to Lucky. All of a sudden, I felt like a little mouse in the wolf's den. The dog stalked over to me. Lucky stepped back. "No," I whispered. But before I could hide behind Lucky, the new dog, the leader dog, circled my legs. He sniffed the backs of my legs and my filthy pants and my sweater pockets that once held 2 warm potatoes. He pushed his nose into the palm of my hand and read it like a gypsy. He sat in front of me and studied my face. "I'm Mishka Ivan Andreevich," I whispered. "I am 5 years old, and I won't hurt you." The dog trotted over to the pile of puppies. He sniffed each one from the tips of their little noses to the ends of their tails. When he was satisfied I had not harmed them, he trotted back over to the opening. Without a backward glance, he leapt through and slipped out like smoke. The one I now called Patches jumped up and out. The little mouse-colored dog with the ripped ear followed as best as his short legs could manage. Lucky dropped a last chunk of sausage at the paws of little mother. Then he too scrambled through the opening. "Hey!" I called. "Don't leave me!" Lucky struck his head into the cellar. Woof! I knelt and touched each of the 3 puppies gently. "Goodbye, little mother," I said. "I'll bring more food for you tomorrow. I promise." I wiggled through the opening. It was almost dark. Snow blanketed the alley, and at the end of that alley stood the pack, waiting for me. I ran with the dogs across the streets, past the gangs of older kids drinking, laughing, fighting, and not scaring me one bit. I was with the pack, and we ran together. Finally, we reached the heat vent where I had met Lucky earlier that day. The dogs stood around me, panting and grinning. I touched the top of each of their heads. "Thank you for bringing me home safe," I said. "We'll get more food tomorrow. Just wait and see." I skipped down the subway steps. Wait until I told Pasha and Tanya about the dogs and the puppies. Maybe if they were nice, I'd take them to meet them. Maybe we could all live together in the cellar and not have to go live in the dark with the hot water pipes. We could feed the puppies until they grew fat and strong. We would be a family with the dogs. I skidded to a stop in front of the big statue of a man riding a horse. I leapt up and touched the horse's nose. I bowed before the man. "Evening, sir." "Well, well, well," a voice said. I gasped. Did the bronze man speak? Rudy stepped out from behind the statue. He held a bottle in one hand, and the other one stretched out. "The little mouse returns." I smiled up at Rudy. "I had the best day," I said. "I met this dog, and—" Rudy snapped his fingers. "Turn over the money." My stomach dropped. Money. I dug into my pants pockets. I felt 2 round, smooth things. I dropped the coins in Rudy's hand. "That's all?" he said. I nodded. "You were gone all day and half the night, and this is all you have to show for it?" My heart hammered in my chest. I nodded again. "Yes, Rudy. I used the other money to buy food." Rudy cuffed me on the side of my head. "How many times have I told you? You don't use money to buy food. You steal food." "But my mother said—" Rudy hit me again, this time knocking me to the floor. "I don't give a damn what your mother said." He jerked me up off the floor, and he shook and shook me. "Your mother isn't here, Mishka. You listen to me now. You do what I say. Do you understand?" Rudy shook me so hard I thought my teeth would fly out onto the floor. "Because if you don't start listening to me—" A large woman in a big coat and brown headscarf rushed over to us. She swung her purse at Rudy. "Leave that little boy alone," she commanded. She beat Rudy all about the shoulders and head with her purse. "You're nothing but a bully," she scolded. Rudy threw his arms and hands over his head. "Ow!" he cried. "Leave me alone, you crazy old woman!" I ran as fast as I could through the sea of legs and arms and coats to my place under the long bench over the heat vent. And that's the end of chapter 14. Be careful with that and enjoy. Please and thank you, and I will see you for the next chapter. Bye.